How's it going, YouTubers? Hey, it's 9:30 this morning here in Oregon, and this is going to be day 2 of the clutch project on Yeti. I'm trying yet another aftermarket clutch, and this time around it's going to be the South Bend Stage 2 Endurance with ceramic, not ceramic. So this is the OCE. Let's see here. I think I've got a part number on it. Yeah, there's the part number for an STI 6-speed. That'd be organic ceramic Exidy. Anyhow, you can see that they take an Exidy OEM style clutch, and you see this is normally what they have on the back side, which is organic, and then on the face they've got ceramic, which is kind of neat. Got an OEM flywheel, brand new, and of course the pressure plate, which is also modified Exidy. It looks like it's got some of the similar markings on there, and this is kind of a giveaway clutch bearing, and of course the throwout bearing. Anyhow, I got a couple things that I want to work on. I'm really in no hurry. It's not going to be this 3 hours to get it back in type thing. I know it took me 3 hours to get it out, but going back in usually takes twice as long. I like to take my time and make sure everything's done correctly, but I've got to rebuild a support for my up pipe. I don't feel comfortable running like all this weight off of the up pipe and relying on the up pipe to take all that weight. I would hate to be out in the middle of nowhere and have the up pipe break. That would suck, especially in deep snow with the Matrax on. I would have very little power, if any, if this up pipe broke. So anyhow, I'm gonna take a piece of 3/16 stainless, I think, and fix that. That'll be the first thing. And then I'm gonna focus on getting all this old crap off of the clutch area, checking the seals on it and everything, cleaning that up. I've already cleaned up the engine bay quite a bit. So, and man, it makes it so much easier to work on these when your transmission is sitting down, 5 inches lower than normal because of the lift kit that's on here. So I'm pretty thankful for that. Anyhow, I'll get started and keep giving you guys some updates here. Alright, it's 10:30. Got the South Bend clutch installed with the new OEM flywheel. I built a 3/16 stainless bracket to hold the turbo and make sure the up pipe doesn't crack. So I got that done. I got the clutch fork reinstalled with the release bearing, and I greased up and cleaned up the input shaft and used some high pressure grease on the inside of the clutch fork, so when I slide the pin in there, it'll be nice and smooth. I'll also grease up the pin when I slide that in. But now, of course, it's time to pick this bad boy up and put her back in Yeti. So that's the next step. We'll see how long this takes. This is the worst part. I hate doing this part. It makes me so nervous that I'm gonna drop it or something. But anyways, here we go. Alright, it's about 10:55. Slowly and carefully, I got the motor back in Yeti. One thing you guys want to be really careful of when you're doing this is there's a little collar on the inside of the pressure plate. If you don't line that input shaft up to the clutch disc and you're lowering the motor down, you'll knock that loose, and then when you go to try to push your clutch fork into that little lock ring that's in there, there won't be anything there, and guess what happens then? You get to take everything apart. So that's something to keep an eye on. If you're lowering the motor in by yourself, definitely check that after you get them sandwiched together like this, you can use a flashlight or whatever to get in there, and you can actually look through the clutch fork hole if you pull the rubber boot out to see if it's still there. The other thing you can also do is before you bolt everything back up together finally, is see if that clutch fork will actually snap into that pressure plate and that lock ring, because it's holding the throwout bearing. But anyhow, that wasn't too bad. I'm never comfortable lifting the motor up that high. I always think that something's going to break, but anyhow, now it's just a matter of getting everything bolted back together, getting accessories put back on. I can relax a little bit knowing that the motor's back in, and just enjoying the process of getting everything put back together. So keep working on it here. I'm not going to be doing it extremely fast at all. I like taking my time and putting this back together. All right, I'll come back in a bit. Well, it's about 1:45. I just got finished having lunch. Took about a half an hour break. Coming together. Got the fuel lines hooked back up, the heater core lines, starter motor. Slowly working my way around. Not in a big hurry. All of this stuff has to go in. It's just one bolt at a time. And I'll come back here in a little bit and show you guys some more. Alright, it's about 2:30. Getting pretty close. Gotta get the alternator back in. Radiator. Got the intake done. Gotta put the pitch mount on. Get all these hoses hooked back to the AOS and the coolant line as well. Not much left. Just slowly going through and methodically putting everything back together. Better than it was before. I didn't like some of the ways some of the wires and such were run. So keep moving forward here. About 5 till 4. Look at that. We're ready for fluids. Got everything buttoned up. Gonna get fluids put in it and start it up. Make sure nothing goes kablamo. Alright, it's about 4:10. Got fluids in her. Gonna go through the burping process here, but spilled coolant everywhere. I forget that the radiator sits higher than the expansion tank. So anyhow, let's see what nuts and bolts go flying off it and how bad it smokes here. Okay, it's about 6 p.m. Had quite the scare there, but it sounded a lot worse than what it was. It was this. It was the little dust shield rubbing against the inside of the clutch housing, I guess you could say. I pulled it off. I'm going to run without it. And I went through and I inspected the entire clutch area there through the little inspection window, and it looks fine. The only thing I can think of is that the starter might have burnt up because there was all that pressure holding it from turning. So I'm going to give it a try here, see if it'll start. The starter might be toast, but let's give it a shot. Got a check engine light on because it probably couldn't turn over. Turn all this nonsense off. Okay. Gonna do the coolant burping, and then I'll do a test drive video tomorrow, but it's getting late, so I just want to finish this up and go in the house.